Welcome back. It is Saturday, August 26th, and the MLB. Our six favorite picks are on the way. It's Austin, joined by Logan. Let's recap yesterday. A 2-3 day. It felt like it could have been so much better. Zach Eflin, if you told me he had 11 strikeouts and barely struggled to get 18 outs, I would have been so surprised. But that's what it was. He got it done. Mookie and Adley Rutschman get it done. The Orioles' first 5 team total looks so good. 2 runs in the first inning. Naturally, they hit their full game team total. They don't get us another run, though, in the first 5. Nico Horner didn't get a hit. And then the Toronto Blue Jays did not bring their bats yesterday, or else that over would have easily hit for Logan, but what can you do? One team showed up, the Guardians did, the Blue Jays did not. But either way, let's bounce back today. Let's have a big time day. Yesterday should have been a winning day, but we can't do anything about that. I do want to talk about 2 things. It's Saturday. College football is back. So, I don't know. We have college football for the next, 13, 14 weeks. We have a Best Bets video was posted last night. Go check it out. Or yesterday. Go check it out. We talked about a bunch of different games on today. Not the best slate in college football, but we're just happy to be back. We got some action going on those games. The video was posted earlier before this one. Go check it out. I'll link it down below in the pinned comment and at the end of the video. And number 2, you get 5 second chances on PointsBet. You get a second chance up to $100 on your bets up to 10 consecutive days. Check out the details down below in the description. You sign up at the top link in the description. You make a bet. If it loses, you get it back every day for 10 consecutive days. One of the cooler promos that I have seen. PointsBet, check it out if it's in your area. All details down below. But let's dive into our picks. We got 6 from one of our biggest slates of the year, and I'm going to lead things off with a prop that I really haven't touched all year long. It's going to be a singles prop. Let's talk about it. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over 0.5 singles, minus 120 on DraftKings. Now, personally, I would play this to right around, minus 130, minus 135. And I need to make an important note right now. Listen up. If Vladdy gets a double, triple, or home run, this bet will not cash, and I will be in pain. We need him to get a single, and I know I don't normally touch this market, and we'll talk about why I'm on this one, but it is a little bit selective because we don't want Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to smoke a baseball into the bleachers like he did yesterday. We just need a single. I think he has a good chance, and I'll talk about why. Now, usually, if you've watched our channel all year long, number 1, we appreciate it, but number 2, you haven't seen me take a lot of these props, and last time Vladdy had a similar scenario, I wanted to take the prop. It's a little too juiced for my liking, and he naturally got a single, but let's talk about him and why I'm just backing him to get a single and not 2+ bases. Now, Vladdy will face the lefty Logan Allen today, and he's 1 for 3 versus Allen with a single. So we'll take those splits. Vladdy's hitting .316 versus lefties this season and 76 at-bats, 24 hits, but this is the kicker. Only 3 of those being extra base hits. He's not had the power against left-handed pitchers, which is what I want today. I don't need Vladdy smoking one into the gap, running for 2. No, we need a single. He can line it out to one of the outfielders. Either way, I don't care how he gets it done. But Guerrero Jr. just has been hitting for a ton of power versus lefties. I don't know what the reason is. And he actually hasn't been hitting for a lot of power just at home in general. Only 6 home runs. The 6th came yesterday. And you look at Vladdy, why am I backing him to get a single? Well, he's been swinging a hot bat. Has a single in 6 straight games. He's 26th percentile in sprint speed. And you look at Logan Allen, has the normal splits of a lefty, allowing a .259 batting average to right-handed batters. He's given up 86 hits total. Only 30 of them have been extra base hits. And look at Allen, 54th percentile on hard hit percentage. So you don't want a guy that's got, first percentile hard hit percentage, because then you're just asking Vladdy to barrel one up and send one into the gap for a double. But you look at Guerrero Jr., he's not been hitting hard well versus lefties, but it's been hitting well versus lefties, which is what we want to see. Honestly, worst case scenario, Vladdy comes up, has a career day, but doesn't get us a single. It could happen. He could get a double, could get a, if he gets a triple, I don't know what the heck happened. But like I said, he's not the fastest guy. So he's not like he's going to be, if he maybe sees one that's like, oh, could I stretch it for 2? That's not really what he does. He will play it safe, take his single. I think that's a good chance that Vladdy gets us at least one single. Also worth noting, the Guardians have pretty good sprint speed and arm talent in the outfield with their left fielder, center fielder, right fielder. They got decent speed, so they can maybe cut off a ball that's in the gap, which would leave that Vladdy to making a decision whether he tries to stretch it for 2 or takes his single. Hopefully he takes his single. Hopefully makes it first at bat, gets it done for us. I know it's a weirder prop, but it should be available on almost every single book. Give me Vladdy Guerrero Jr. over 0.5 singles. We just need one single. That's all we're counting on, minus 120 on DraftKings. But Logan, you got a pick. Where are you going today?
Yeah, this isn't a weird pick, but it's going to be a pick that's controversial. I'm taking the Royals plus 1.5, plus 105 odds on Caesars, currently your best value there. Now, look, I know I'm being a contrarian here, and if you cannot bet in a contrarian style, don't tail this bet. I don't want to hear you whining about it. Just don't tail it. Move on with your life. On weekend baseball, I refuse to take the home team minus 1.5 run line, especially when the odds look off. Because yes, I'm getting at a plus 105 odds, but I'm seeing it on other books like DraftKings at the minus 110. I'm telling you guys, I made a living off of taking the plus 1.5 at minus 110 odds, especially on the road team. So you know what? You just take the home team covering for granted a lot in baseball, and that's really just, that's not how, I'm not going to say it. typically it's hard to cover the -1.5 run line in most years. But Lyles and Logan Gilbert being priced as even odds on the run line is enough to make me go with KC, because on paper this definitely looks like a pitching mismatch. The Mariners are now now leading the chaotic AL West, but I'd be surprised if the Royals just roll over for them today. I just don't see it. I don't see the game going like that. Last time Gilbert faced the Royals won outright 7-6. Gilbert only went 4 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 4 earned runs. And against Gilbert, the Royals in 44 plate appearances are hitting 400 with an expected batting average of 304. So still a really, good expected numbers. And obviously they're hitting Logan Gilbert really well. They've seen him before, and they've been hitting right-handed pitching really well in the month of August. They're hitting 297 against righties in August. They should be able to get some hits and runs up on Logan Gilbert and get some run support for their boy Jordan Lyles. Jordan Lyles, I mean, yes, I've called him batting practice before, so call it what you want. 6.2 ERA and a 1.27 WHIP. Not normally the guy I'm backing, but today, you know what? I have faith in the boy. Jordan Lyles, last time he faced the Mariners, 5 innings pitched, allowed 6 earned runs. Yeah, several of those were home runs, and it was not good, right? He was hosting batting practice, but in that game though, you look at the final score, look at the box score. Mariners won that game 10-8. The Royals did battle back in that one. They did compete, and they almost tried backdoor covering, right? So I just don't think they're going to roll over today. In 93 plate appearances versus Lyles, the Mariners are hitting 301 with an expected batting average of 278. So the expected batting average is a little bit lower. Look, he can give up hits, all he wants. He just has to be able to kind of, finesse out of some dangerous spots, which I've seen him be able to do a lot of times this year. A lot of times he hasn't been, but a lot of times I've seen him also be able to, wiggle out of those innings. And some redeeming stats for Jordan Lyles, because there aren't many, but there are some. 77th percentile on hard hit percentage, 79th percentile on walk percentage. Look, if you're going to give up the home runs, they can be solo shots. I can afford that today. They just can't be with runners on base. They cannot be a 3-run home run, because that's how the Mariners just, kind of run away and hide with this one. I don't trust the Mariners to bring the bats today, night in and night out. Why? Because I have a futures bet on this team. I just know how they normally, hit or don't hit for that matter. And Seattle, on the year, not good at home. Only hitting 236 at home this season, and it would make perfect baseball sense, I'll just call it that, for them to win, in cover versus Singer, but not against Lyles, who everyone kind of was getting crafty with Singer. Lyles is obviously the worst pitcher. That makes some baseball sense in that one. So I was just saying the Royals, I think, are going to be a pesky underdog in the Mariners side today. But Austin, what else you going with?
Logan, that is about as disgusting as a pick as you could find on the card. It's an earlier start, so maybe, you're looking at hit parlay odds. Not really great odds for anyone that's not named Julio Rodriguez. So hopefully J-Rod's on base just waving to his guys that are striking out left and right. But I hope it is. In August of last year, I'd say that's going to hit 100% of the time. This year, it's just we can't seem to get track record on, on the sharp side to be on. But I'm going to go to hit parlay, and you'll recognize this one from yesterday. It's going to be Mookie Betts and Adley Rutschman each to record a hit, plus 102 on Bet365. Now, I would give you the odds on FanDuel, but they don't have odds for the Orioles game for whatever reason. But I don't think it'll be as juiced as it was yesterday. Mookie Betts sitting right around minus 310. Hopefully Adley, he was like minus 400 yesterday. He should be back to minus 300, minus 280. But if you're on DraftKings, my normal pivot is to take both these guys in the same game parlay and parlay that with their respective teams. So the Orioles and the Dodgers each to score over 1.5 team total runs. If you do that, you get minus 109, which is still a great price for this. I think the Orioles will have no problem scoring 2. I think the Dodgers can get you 2 as well. But let's start with Mookie Betts. Came through for us yesterday, batting 309 on the year, 453 in August, 556 over his last 15 games. Scorching that 13-game hit streak. Has a tougher matchup against James Paxton today. Mookie's still hitting well versus lefties. It's basically the same batting average versus lefties and righties. Now, you do look at a guy like Paxton, does have reverse splits, does actually allow a higher batting average to left-handed batters, but I still think Mookie swinging a hot bat in Fenway. He's been crushing lefties. Don't hate his 2+ bases, but it's a little too juice for me. I think he can get it done. You look at Paxton, throws 57% four-seam, 24% knuckle curve, 13% changeup. Mookie's expected batting average versus those pitches, 304, 315, and 234. So, look, Mookie, pretty confident he can get it through, done. Batting leadoff in this spot. Should be good hitting weather in Fenway Park. I'm certainly confident he can get it done. And then next up is going to be Adley Rutschman. Again, this Hughes came through for us twice. I had doubts of him yesterday, but he clutched up with a single in his last at-bat. Let's see if he can make it 3 days in a row clutching up for us. Rutschman batting 276 on the season. You'll never see me back him on the road, but at home, batting 326, has a hit in 5 straight, facing Chris Flexen, who's allowing a 322 batting average to lefties. Now, obviously, Adley Rutschman will bat lefty versus him. He is a switch hitter, though, so you'll see him left, maybe right the whole game long, but Flexen's just been struggling this year. Like 322 batting average to lefties. It's even higher versus right-handed batters. So you look at Flexen with the pitches he's going to throw: 47% four-seam, 23% cutter, 19% changeup. Adley has great splits against all of those: 280, 297, and 329. Flexen also a guy that struggles to miss bats, 7th percentile K percentage. So the only thing that normally concerns me about Flexen is that he might walk some guys here and there. But at the end of the day, he has worked on that a little bit over his last few starts, been better. And I think that Adley batting leadoff, just like Mookie Betts, will have plenty of chances here today to get it done. So roll with Adley and Mookie Betts, the same parlay that cashed yesterday for us. Hopefully it cashes again today for us, and maybe we'll run it back tomorrow. But Logan, I heard you have a hit parlay too, and you're going to a Blue Jay. Who you got today?
I'm going with the Blue Jay reluctantly but today we're going with Bo Bichette of the Blue Jays and Trey Turner, my boy, of the Phillies, each to record a hit, minus 112 odds on Bet365. Currently, your next best odds would be minus 127 on FanDuel, so definitely a small little discrepancy there. Now with DraftKings pivot, if you only have DraftKings available, I would take a Bo Bichette hit, Blue Jays over 1.5 team total, and then I parlay that with a Trey Turner hit, Phillies over 1.5 team total, minus 122 odds on that. That's a nice little decent pivot. And yes, we're returning to the scene of the crime yesterday because, oh man, if you told me the Guardians put up 5 and runs in that game, I'd say the over, it soars over. But no, Bo Bichette did me no favors yesterday for that over. Blue Jays game going 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. So naturally, I think today, since I'm not on the over, he will bounce back in a big way and hit against Logan Allen and the Guardians today. Now, Bo Bichette batting 315 on the season. He was on an 11-game hit streak prior to yesterday. He's hitting 302 at home and 366 versus lefties on the year. So those are really good numbers. I kind of trust him to get a hit today. And he hasn't seen Logan Allen before, like his other teammates, but we talked about Vlad, 259 batting average allowed to right-handed batters, only 194 to left-handed batters. Logan Allen, if we look at the pitches he's going to throw, 43% four-seam, 25% changeup, 16% sweeper. Bichette's batting average versus those pitches, 368, 390, and 217 respectively. So, I mean, almost 400 on some of those pitches. Bo Bichette, 3rd percentile in walks is allowed, aka, I mean, he's coming up there and swinging. And that's kind of the guy we want for a hit parlay. Walks do us no good in hit parlay. So I think Bo Bichette stands a really good chance of getting a hit. Now it's up to Trey Turner, our boy, right? We love Trey Turner on this channel. We love trusting him at home. And I definitely think, look at his numbers. Trey Turner has a hit in 15 straight home games. He's hitting 292 in August, 320 over the last 15 days. He's 2 for 7, 286 versus Dakota Hudson before. So he's seen Dakota Hudson before, and he's hit him before. So Trey Turner should be able to get a hit there. And Hudson, unlike most pitchers, has reverse splits. He's allowing 272 batting average to righties, only 240 to lefties. And Hudson, take it from anyone that's ever backed him, he struggles to miss bats, which is great, for 99th percentile in sprints be like Trey Turner. We've seen him be able to beat out infield singles. So as long as he's making contact with the ball, he should hopefully be on base for us. Hudson also 48% sinker, 34% slider, 13% four seam. Trey's batting average against those pitches, 302, 317, and 204. Trey does struggle with the fastball, but the fact that Hudson doesn't throw the fastball a ton, that definitely, is favorable for us today. And his expected batting average versus the four-seamer, much higher at 256. So, the eyeball test tells me he's been getting unlucky, and the numbers kind of tell me he's been getting unlucky too. I'll ride with Hudson. I think he should stand a good chance to I'll ride with Trey against Hudson and even in the Cardinals bullpen in that one. But Austin, what else you got for us?
Yeah, Logan, I absolutely love the hit parlay. Those two guys are getting it done first at bat. But for mine, the last 2 picks, like I said, a 6-pick card, not something we do too often. I'm going to wrap it up real quickly. I'm going to go to, we have boots on the ground for one of these games. We're talking about a parlay here, so listen up. We're taking 2 outs props. Tyler Glasnow of the Rays over 17.5 outs, and Max Scherzer of the Rangers over 17.5 outs, plus 151 on DraftKings. I'm going to parlay both of them, so it doesn't count unless both these guys throw at least 6 innings pitched. It's plus 151, so I'll throw a unit on it to try to win back over 1.5. 8.5. I like both props, but they're both a little bit too juiced for me. The odds have been kind of fluctuating all morning long. So if you can play this down to about plus 130, I would not take either of them at 18.5 to make that noted. If it switches to 18.5, I'd probably avoid it and have another outs prop in a second, which you could parlay with if you want to do that. Now let's talk about this one though. Like I said, boots on ground. I'll be at the Rays-Yankees game today. And look, the Yankees made life difficult on Mr. Eflin yesterday, but I believe it was because they were waiting for good pitches to hit. Normally Eflin, not a big strikeout guy, so they were waiting on the pitches, getting 2 strikes, fouling off some pitches, and naturally he had 11 Ks because they were waiting on so many pitches, running up the pitch count. Unfortunately, with Glasnow, you normally don't do that. You don't want to get 0-2 or down 1-2 in the count because this is a guy that's got, elite K percentage, elite whiff rates. So I think they're going to be chasing early and often. So could we see some 1-2 pitch at bats for Glasnow? Definitely so, and I think Glasnow will have their numbers. We've already talked about, the Yankees offense. We will in a second, but you look at Glasnow, 3.35 ERA, 1.09 WHIP. At home, that whip drops below 1 at a .91. He's thrown 6 innings pitched or over 17.5 outs in 6 straight starts. And unlike Eflin yesterday, who had reverse splits where righties did better against him than lefties, Glasnow has the normal splits. You look at righties against him, they're really not hitting. He's really struggling. Lefties are the ones that hit him well. You look at Glasnow, allowing a 171 batting average to right-handed batters, 238 versus lefties. His only start versus the Yankees this year, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run. I talked about it yesterday. The Yankees have no good left-handed bats. That's why they've struggled all year long, and that's why this offense is struggling against righties. Yesterday, they had good numbers, and they did well against Eflin because Eflin gave up a high batting average to right-handed batters, which is the meat and bones of the Yankees offense. They need the Judge, LeMahieu, Torres, Stanton. They need those guys to be productive. However, with the guy like Glasnow is really hitting, really doing well against righties, I think the Yankees offense will struggle. We've already talked about them last 30 days. Yankees, 30th in batting average, 29th in slugging, 28th in WRC plus against right-handed pitchers. The Yankees have seen Glasnow a good amount, 87 career PAs, 33% strikeout percentage, a .188 batting average. Yeah, I'll take my chances with Glasnow getting me 6 innings pitched. If he's not doing that, I'll be chirping him in attendance. Now, second leg, Max Scherzer, over 17.5 outs. You look at him, 3.77 ERA and a 1.15 whip. He's thrown 6+ innings pitched in 10 of his last 12 starts. Actually has much worse road splits, but it's a much needed win for the Rangers here. And Scherzer's coming off a terrible start, 3 2/3, 3 earned runs, 4 walks allowed. The Rangers need him to step up here today. Team that's lost 6-7 in a row. Scherzer obviously has his work cut out against a hot Twins offense, but still, the Twins just put up 12 runs yesterday. He's going to have a long leash at over 100, plus pitches. They need him to pitch well today. That bullpen's been struggling for the Rangers the past few days. They need him to be out there and pitch well. I think Scherzer can get you at least 6 innings pitched. There's a reason it's juiced. He's going to have a long leash. The Twins are probably going to chase early and often against his pitches. Hopefully the defense is there to back him up, and hopefully Scherzer can get a 6 innings pitch. So can Glasnow, plus 151 odds. I love it. I love both individually, but like I said, I'm not betting a minus 170 prop. You got the wrong guy. Let's move on to my last play. If those guys move up to 18.5, or maybe one of them, you can parlay them with this guy. It's another outs prop. Kyle Bradish of the Baltimore Orioles, over 17.5 outs, minus 130 on DraftKings. I'd play this to about minus 145. Like I said, if it gets too juiced, you feel free to lump them in the parlay for the 2 guys that I just talked about. I wouldn't mind that. Obviously, I'd reduce the unit size and not bet a full unit on that, but I still think all 3 of these pitchers have a great chance. And normally, you haven't seen me betting a lot of outs props, so we had good success recently. It's a Saturday. I feel like the guys don't really show up to play on Saturdays most often, and I think Bradish has got a good chance of getting it done. He's been really good. You look at his stats, 3.03 ERA and a 1.1 whip. At home, just like a guy like Glasnow, his numbers improved, 2.18 ERA, 202 batting average allowed, and a .99 whip. Anytime you give me a starter with a below 1 whip, I'll take my chances here. I mean, this is a Rockies offense I don't trust at all. They had actually good success yesterday against Cole Irvin, and they still let him throw 6 innings pitched. He gave out 6 hits and 4 earned runs over the last 4 starts. Bradish locked in, allowing a 171 batting average. He's thrown 6+ innings pitched in 9 of his last 10 starts in general, 7 of the last 8 at home. Actually, the only one he didn't get 6 innings pitched at home was the game we were at in the Bird Bath. He was just struggling with command, had 5 walks that day, really quieted that down. The Rockies do get some hard contact versus right-handed batters. Just because you get hard contact does not normally mean that you're running up the scoreboard. Still, this is the league average offense the last 15 to 30 days against right-handed pitchers. Rockies also below league average in terms of pitches seen per plate appearance. I think Bradish can come out here, get a 6 innings pitch, just like Glasnow and Scherzer. Hopefully everything goes well and all those guys are getting it done. We're putting 1 unit on Bradish, 1 unit on the parlay of Scherzer and Glasnow to get their job done. But those are our 6 favorite picks of the day. Appreciate you guys for tuning in for such a long video. Let's have a wonderful bounce back day after that 2-3 brutal beat yesterday. It's a Saturday. If you want to go check out our college football video, it's on the screen. Let's have a day, and we'll see you guys back on Sunday with some more picks. If you're at the Rays-Yankees game and you see me, feel free to say hello. I'll be videotaping for the second channel as well. We'll see you guys in the next one, though. Peace.